Welcome to the MPG Podcast, where your host, John Grabio, talks racing, driving, training, and cars with Newman Wachs racing driver Jordan Missick. And now, here's John and Jordan.
This is the first time the MPG Podcast has had three people on it.
It is, actually. You're right.
I think. I'm John Grabio. I'm your host. Welcome to the show. We got a great show today, and we are joined with
Jordan Missick here, driver number 48, Newman Wachs, F3 for the Formula Regional Series. And with us on our show, we have a special guest. It's my teammate for the Formula Regional Series. It's Victor Franzoni.
Yeah, it's a big pleasure to be with you guys. It's gonna be fun, and this year I enjoyed Jordan in the season for the Formula Regional, and it's been very good to have a good teammate like this and friend as well. So it's been fun. But let's see how's gonna go today.
Outstanding. So Jordan, Victor, thank you so much for being on the show. You guys are live in the MPG garage there in the Audubon Country Club. And I'm on the road. So I'm so happy to get to talk to you guys today. So fill me in. What's been going on with you guys?
Right now, it's kind of been, obviously, the past couple episodes I've said it's been an off season that we've had right now, a second off season, I guess you could say. We're still in the middle of our month and a half break from the Formula Regional racing. So we're about 3 weeks away in times right now till we hit the track. Down in Sebring International Raceway down in Florida. So I'd say we're getting closer and closer to our first race back for the second half of the season. But in the meantime, we've been doing a lot of testing ever since then. So, yeah, that's kind of been what I've been doing. I know you've been on the road a lot more than I've been.
Yeah, I've been everywhere, basically. No stop for the last 6 weeks. I've been on the road. Because I'm working different series as well. In the Indy Pro 2000, I'm coaching some drivers there with Juncos Racing, and there was no stop because of all the COVID stuff. So they put a very crazy schedule together, and it was difficult. But finally, after now, I'm here with Jordan testing those 2 days, and then I go to the kind of the last race before a good break. So finally have some time to rest and focus again for our race. That's going to be the next round after that. So it's going to be good.
Okay, Victor. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
So I'm from São Paulo, from Brazil.
And São Paulo's a big, huge city south of Rio de Janeiro on the east coast of Brazil. And how long did you start? Obviously, you started driving down there, I'm assuming, when you grew up, right?
Yeah, so basically my whole life I was there, and I started to drive when I was 4 years old. I started in go-karts, and I've been racing Brazil since I was 14, 15, and then I went to Europe. I did 2 years there in Formula Renault 2.0, the European Championship. There was kind of a strong championship there, and after that I came to US, and here I've been racing for 6 years already. I came here my first time in 2014, and I want to stay here. It's a good place to race, to live. So I'm happy to be here doing all those stuff.
Outstanding. So you're actually from the city of São Paulo or the São Paulo state?
I'm from the city of São Paulo as well. Like, there's super busy every time and too many people for one place, but it's fun. It's a good place. I always go back for Christmas and New Year, and sometimes when I have some 2-3 weeks without anything, I go back to see my parents. All my family is still there, but I'm living in US, so most part of the time I'm here.
Oh, outstanding. So this is your first season. This is your first time driving an F3 car. Did you drive one last year?
No, it's first time. So when I came to US, the first thing I drove was the USF 2000. I drove for 2.5 years, and then I did the Pro Mazda, and then I won the championship in 2017. 2018, I did Indy Lights. Last year, I did the 24 Hours of Daytona in the DPI, and then I did 2 more races in in the DPI as well with Juncos Racing. So wasn't a great year, but at least I did some nice race. And this year I could be with Jordan in the F3. So was my first year driving the car and joining the team.
Yeah, so you both have been on the podium this year for the MPG racing team. Tell me about so I think Victor, did you podium first?
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, in Mid Ohio. Yeah, it was my first podium was there, and then VIR was Jordan, then Barber was me again. So we are just waiting for the time to do 1-2, and then it's gonna be a good one.
We're averaging a 1 podium per weekend, so we're pretty good there.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So, what kind of testing have you? So you guys were on the track today?
No, so we had a huge rainstorm come through today. We were scheduled to be on track today, but we had a huge rainstorm that came through in the morning, and then it kind of it dried up a little bit towards the afternoon. Then we had another wave just come through and just kind of wet the track again. So the whole day today was kind of scratched and canceled. So we're planning on testing both of us tomorrow, Victor on Thursday, and then me on Friday.
Okay. All right. And so Thursday and Friday. Okay. Yeah. So how's the weather look up there? Is the weather going to be okay or?
We're hoping it's going to be okay for tomorrow. There's a little bit of scattered showers predicted in this forecast. I want to say it's around 30 or 40% chance of rain, but I think it's only going to be in the morning. So if the morning doesn't work out, the afternoon should be pretty clear to get at least a little bit of running in. So that's the positive on that. Thursday and Friday both look a little bit better than what tomorrow's bringing.
Yeah, I know it was snowing in Denver today.
Yeah, we heard about that too. It was snowing in Denver, and it was like what, 90 degrees there or 80 degrees there 2 days ago.
Yeah. So hopefully that snow it avoids Illinois. It dissipates and it moves either north or south around, at least around the track for this whole weekend. A lot of stuff going on this weekend, that's for sure. So what kind of things are you planning on working on? Is the car set up or driving plans, or what exactly is the plan for testing this week?
I think it's just kind of for us still learning nuances with the car and understanding the car a little bit better too. You know, this is also still our first year as a race team and some of us as drivers to get inside the car. So we're trying to optimize as much track time as we can here at the Autobahn to try to learn some new things about the car, how it feels and how it handles and what kind of changes we make to the car to make it a little bit better or just kind of work in our favor.
All right. What the car is somewhat unique, Victor, the F3 car. How does it compare to the other cars that you've driven? Is it stickier? Is it a little more hard to control in the corners, or what do you think about it?
It's a difficult car. It's very tricky. Like it's an open wheel, but it feels a little bit like a GT, like the Ferraris and Lamborghinis. But of course, it's still a little bit lighter than those cars. But the way that you drive, the technique that you need to use it, it's very similar to the GT cars. And it's just because it's a little bit more understeer the car, so it's a little bit more, the rotation, it's more difficult to do it. So you need to figure out using the brakes or your hands being a little bit more aggressive sometimes. So you need to make the car rotate a little bit faster with the setup and also driving wise. So that's the tricky part of the car, but I'm really enjoying. I think it's a great engine. It's a turbo engine it's fun to drive. It's super fun, and the horsepower it's good for the car. So I think it's a very good package. I think when you get to learn very well, when you get to make the thing rotate and you know how to do it, it turns to be very good, and it's something that we are working the setup and in ourselves to make sure we have a very good end of the season. We are doing great already for the amount of experience we had in the car and how everything started. But of course, we want to end the season with some wins and driving both of us first and second. And I'm sure we can. We are getting there, and the whole staff that we are working, it's very good. So everyone is doing a great job, and we are keep testing until we get to the perfect point.
So do you guys have identical setups in a car, or your driving style dictate a different setup?
I'd say our setups are somewhat similar. I would say there are some tracks where they've been very far off from each other, where one setup can be a lot smoother and one's a little bit more nimble. But on most occasions, the setups are somewhat fairly similar, close. At least when we unload off the truck, they are. But the difference between when you unload off the truck and to the end of the weekend could be two totally different things. You could be bringing a totally different car back than when you first unloaded. So it just kind of depends on the driving style a lot too, as well as how the track conditions are.
Okay. All right. And so when you go out, like when you guys are working together as a team, how much do you, what exactly, how do you guys work together? I mean, is it like you like look at data and like kind of give you ideas, or do you guys just talk about how the car handles or change setup ideas, or how does it work as a team between you and the coaches and everything?
Yeah. So like when we first get off the track, obviously, we debrief a lot and just kind of throw in like the first thing that stands out to us on what the car was handling, but like it was the balance of the car, like where it was very understeery and some corners are very oversteer. You just couldn't get this corner right. So that's like the first and foremost thing that you'll do is just kind of throw out the obvious points that the car is doing. And then you kind of you can fill out either track maps, or you can kind of just go into pinpointing minor details of each corner and start dissecting it from there. And then you can look at video, start to look at data, and then start to get into the nitty-gritty things of how to set a lap up together and make a perfect lap. And then we just kind of can compare it to one another to see who's doing better in which corners, where are we struggling at, how could we be a little bit faster, and just kind of compare data for that. So that's the greatest part of having a teammate there, is that you're able to compare against someone else and not just yourself the whole time.
Yeah, that makes sense. So what track are you guys going to be using tomorrow, Victor?
It's the South track tomorrow, and it's good. Both tracks are very good here to test. But I think the South track is a little bit closer to Sebring. That's the one that we're going to be racing the next round. So it's very good. I think the setup that we finish here probably is going to be a good setup to start there. So I think it's going to be very nice those days. And Jordan did a few other days that he improved a lot, and the car was much easier to drive. So I think we are going a very good direction, and I'm sure if we keep getting in those small bits that we want to find, I think it's going to be pretty good in Sebring.
Yeah, and when is the Sebring race?
It's at about 3 weeks from right now, so end of the month for sure. I think it's September 24th through the 28th or something like that.
Yeah.
I'd have to check the calendar for the official dates, which I'm doing right now. September 24th through the 27th. So very close.
All right, great. Yeah, I plan on being down there. We're headed down there. My race guys are headed down there in November, so this will be my first time at Sebring, and I'm excited to. Won't be driving. Maybe. I doubt it. I don't know. You never know. But we'll at least be down there at that famous track in Central Florida that has so many drivers excited to show up there and drive. And how do you guys like the track? Have you driven there before? Did you race the Radicals last year? Or?
Yeah, so I raced the Radicals last year there in a PBOC event, and it was in my 1340 car. So the track itself, it's a very fun track to be on. I know the last corner, turn 17 and turn 1, are the two most bumpiest corners you'll ever feel as a race car driver. So you need to bring tons of Advil with, because you're bound to get a headache because your head's just bouncing so much. But once you get to the backside and to the from the tarmac of the old airport to the actual asphalt of the racetrack, it's a very smooth transition. And the track itself, it's pretty smooth towards the backside. But yeah, it can be for a very bumpy ride, and it gives the cars a workout too. You're stress testing all the mechanical parts and the mechanical nuances of the car itself.
Yeah, what do you think of the Sebring track, Victor?
I really like there. I never drove too much there. I think I did one test in the F2000, the old USF, and I did a endurance race with the Radical there. It was a 6 hours race. But I have worked there a lot, coaching some drivers, so I have more experience outside the car than in the car there. But it's a great track. It's very fun. It's very good for racing because you have a lot of place to pass. So it's good. It's very difficult, like Jordan said, for the car, because you can balance the car for the whole track. Because one part it's very bumpy and high speed, the other part it's very smooth with a lot of low speed turns. So the car is never going to be good. So you just need to figure out and just drive fast and try to do something. But it's nice. It's a good track because of all those particular things.
Yeah, I have only driven it via a simulator, and my short, simulator times, practicing down there during the winter last year, it was always fun. So I do look forward to someday driving it. We'll see how that turns out.
Once you drive it, compare it to in a real car compared to a simulator, like you can see the bumps. The simulator doesn't do the justice of the bumps. Once you get into a real car, even if it's just like a street car and just go drive around, do like a touring lap or something, or a race car, you can definitely feel the impact of the bumps, and they're pretty brutal. I will say they'll give you a jolt.
All right, guys. Well, is there anything else we need to cover today, or that I forgot to talk about or touch base with?
I think you cut on all of it. You touched on all of it. So I think the last thing you need to do is just tell us. You just need to tell our viewers you can watch all the racing on fanracing.live of us at Don Sebring, and then you can keep up with both me and Victor on our social medias. I think you're just at Victor Franzoni.
Yeah, mine is just at Victor Franzoni.
Mine is Jordan Mystic Racing, or you can keep up with both of us and just go follow Newman Wachs Racing on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. So I think that's just the easiest way to follow all of us.
All right. So Victor, I got it right here. VictorFranzoni.
Yep, perfect.
Victor Franzoni. Okay. So one quick question I have for you, Victor. So what are some of the famous tracks down in Brazil? Is karting big down there like it is in the U.S. and Europe? Is there a lot of karters down there, or is there more car racers?
It's more karting than the cars there, and it's very strong. The go-karts there, it's very, very strong, and there's one series that's very good for professional drivers. That's the stock car, but unfortunately Brazil doesn't have much of open wheels, so this kind of limited us to go to like Formula One and IndyCar as well. So to go for those one of those two things, you just need to leave the country. Unfortunately, that's a good country. It's very fun to be, but it's the only way if you want to follow the future and try to be in one of those big series, you need to leave. But the go-kart, it's very strong. A lot of good go-kart drivers, they're coming from there.
All right, outstanding. Well, best of luck testing in the next couple days. We hope the weather holds out and you get nice sunshine, warm tracks, and you're able to get out there and tweak the car and tweak driving to max perform everything.
Will do, John. Thank you so much, as always. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Sounds good.